On this edition of CityVision, our city is making several advances in the way you find and pay for parking. And the latest on the state's construction projects on Alton and Collins. Plus, Playground Review celebrates a milestone, going strong for 70 years as the best summer show in town. Hello and welcome to CityVision, your source for everything you need to know about Miami Beach. I'm your host, Emily Oz, here in front of our city's historic fire station, also home to our city's emergency operations headquarters. And directly behind the historic fire station is Fire Station number 2, which houses the Emergency Operations Center, or EOC. And now we're inside the EOC. It's that time of year again, hurricane season, and we're going to take a closer look at our city's emergency plan later in the show when we meet our new Director of Emergency Operations, Chuck Tier. But first, the city has picked a partner in the redevelopment of the powerhouse of our economy, the Miami Beach Convention Center.
And we will open it to public input and questions.
After a lengthy open public process, the Miami Beach City Commission has selected South Beach ACE over Portman CMC to handle one of the most significant development projects in our city's history. The team is charged with redeveloping the 52-acre Convention Center district. South Beach ACE is now taking the next appropriate steps of meeting with the county and city staff to begin coordinating all the necessary approvals. There will be questions on the November ballot related to this project. To see the plans in detail, visit our city's website, miamibeachfl.gov. And stay tuned to MBTV for more information as this project continues to develop. If you're interested in meeting your city leaders up close and personal and hearing the inside scoop on how our city operates, here's your chance.
Let's talk about public safety.
Learn more about your city by joining the free Neighborhood Leadership Academy. Registration is now open for the fall session. Get a fresh perspective on how to become more active in your community. The free 15-week session provides information and resources to become a more knowledgeable member and participant in our community.
It's a great way of getting connected to your city, to learn about local government, meet the administrators, learn who to contact in certain situations. It's a really empowering course. 40% of all the people serving on boards and committees at the city and are alumni of this program. There's a great network of alumni of over 800 people that you're connected to when you've finished the class.
Add the Neighborhood Leadership Academy to your resume. Register by contacting the City of Miami Beach at 305-673-7010. Our city's parking department is leading the way with several new advances in how you can find and pay for parking here in Miami Beach. Some are available now, and others are coming soon. Our city's new parking app is here. Called Miami Beach Park Me, the free app helps you find the closest, cheapest municipal parking nearby and displays real-time availability at select destinations.
It'll provide information such as the location, their rates, the hours of operation. It'll have turn-by-turn directions to those facilities.
Download Miami Beach Park Me on your iPhones or Android today to make parking a snap. Also new, our city is moving to a pay-by-license plate model at all pay stations. Right now, you have to show proof of payment by placing the receipt in the dash of your vehicle. But soon you'll be able to skip that step because city staff will be able to track everything by your license plate.
What I suggest is take a picture of your license plate on your cell phone. Most folks have a smartphone or cell phone. Or if you're not, just jot down your license plate and keep it handy so that when you approach the pay station, you already have that information.
The pay stations using pay-by-plate are available only in South Beach, with plans to expand the pay-by-plate model to the rest of the city's pay stations next year. And soon you'll be able to pay for parking with your cell phone. Pay by Cell is coming to Miami Beach.
Certainly provides a great level of convenience for folks that don't want to necessarily deal with pay stations or or the like. They subscribe to a membership and then can start and stop their parking sessions via their cell phone or their smartphone.
Pay by Cell is not available yet, but stay tuned to MBTV and we'll be sure to bring you the details when they become available. City staff is constantly working to make it easier and faster for you to find parking and get on to the task of working or playing in Miami Beach. For more information, please visit miamibeachfl.gov/parking. Moving now to major construction projects taking place on two main corridors in Miami Beach. Let's take a look at how the project teams keep traffic moving while getting the job done. Here's Sherry Holbert-Lipner with our Plan Progress Report.
You can't escape the traffic. If you have to move in and out of South Beach, there's a good chance you have to travel on Alton Road or Collins Avenue. And both of those north-south corridors are under construction and will be for a while. In April, the Florida Department of Transportation began a roadway construction project on Alton Road from 5th Street to Michigan Avenue that includes renovation of the flyover from MacArthur Causeway. And in June, FDOT began a 2nd Street upgrade project on Collins Avenue.
One of the primary objectives of both projects is to provide drainage improvements for both corridors.
On Alton Road, crews are installing 3 pump stations on 5th, 10th, and 14th Street, which will pull stormwater off the roadway. The road will be completely reconstructed with a geogrid material under the new asphalt that will prolong the lifespan of the pavement. Traffic signals get upgrades, and they are engineered with pedestrians in mind. New street lighting will also illuminate the way for motorists and pedestrians visiting the businesses. Sidewalks are being widened and improved, as well as the driveway approaches. The streets will be lined with shade trees and palms. And the entire project will be ADA compliant for a safer pedestrian experience. And to the east, on Collins Avenue, crews have begun to install deep injection wells for stormwater drainage. The sidewalks and pedestrian ramps get an upgrade. The flow of traffic is improved with better signalization and turning lanes. The pedestrian experience is enhanced and safer with the installation of audible signals. Drivers will be alerted to upcoming traffic slowing with electronic signs. New street lighting, landscaping, and street fixtures are also part of the upgrade. And the newly paved road will have new signage and markings. That's a lot of work and potentially a lot of hassle. So why undertake both projects at the same time?
There was a lot of interaction between the city and the Florida Department of Transportation for the scheduling of the project. There was a lot of discussion about staggering the jobs, having one go first, completing, and then having the second one go. But it was decided between the city and the FDOT that both projects were very important to both agencies, and the best thing to do would have them go at the same time to basically construct the improvements as quickly as possible.
The timing was taken into consideration when the flyover component on Alton Road was addressed.
This 30-day schedule is an aggressive, almost 24-hour continuous schedule, and that's in order to advance it and get in and get out. The original plans called for this area to be under construction for approximately 6 months. That work was primarily at night between midnight and 5 in the morning. So this schedule helps alleviate some of that nighttime noise and impacts to the community.
And that decision makes the process safer as well. Decisions about how to go about all this construction did not happen in a vacuum. There was and is an extensive public involvement process. Public meetings were held as early as 2008 to present the project development and environmental study, where local stakeholders had a say in what was to come. During design, the project teams presented to committees and the City Commission.
Now during construction, we had a couple public meetings prior to the start. We've also had presentations with different community groups, and it's really just trying to build those partnerships from a city level and beyond to get as many people informed about the project as possible.
Heather sends out weekly updates you can sign up for on email, or you can log on to the department website. Information is also available on the city's website. Collins Avenue is expected to be completed in the summer of 2014. And the Alton Road project will be complete in the summer of 2015. And the Alton flyover has already been completed and is open for traffic. Follow the project on Twitter at myFDOT_Miami. And while driving either road, tune in to 1670 AM for traffic updates from the city of Miami Beach.
The summer is in full swing and big crowds gathered for our city's annual 4th of July celebration. Our city ushered in America's birthday with a big bang.
Whoa, they are just setting off every one of them.
The free fireworks show, sponsored by Coca-Cola and Classical South Florida, was well received by the crowds at our city's annual Fire on the 4th celebration.
Yeah, it's great. That's one of the things we appreciate about Miami Beach in general. We do a lot to support the community and outdoor events like this. Lots of music and art. Good times, good people.
The evening kicked off with a jazz concert by one of Miami Beach's very own.
She has performed for audiences on multiple continents, and we're honored to have her back home with us in Miami Beach. Please welcome the talented and very beautiful Nicole Henry.
It's amazing to be here on Miami Beach this evening because this is everything that's perfect about the beach. Beautiful weather, little bit of breeze, wonderful sunny day today, and to have an internationally renowned jazz singer like Nicole Henry, who happens to be a neighbor of ours, but who is also here tonight giving a free concert sponsored by the City of Miami Beach.
Everybody here is having a great time, and Miami Beach is the greatest place to ever live.
You know you gotta run and have your fun and your mess. Thank you so much, Miami Beach. Happy July 4th. Enjoy the fireworks.
For more information on arts and culture events, please visit mbculture.com. Up next on CityVision, hear from our new Director of Emergency Operations on the city's plans for potential disaster situations. And we remind drivers and pedestrians that they both play a role in pedestrian safety. Plus, we detail the city's plans to expand upon the over 50 miles of pedestrian and bike routes that already exist in our city. A smile is contagious and good for your health. That's why the City of Miami Beach has launched its kindness campaign, Smile, Pass It On. The campaign was developed to create awareness about the positive effects of a smile and promote excellent public service. Send us your smile stories and photos. Visit the city's website, residence portal, then click on the smile icon at the bottom of the page. Wear a smile on your face to brighten up someone else's day. Smile and pass it on. Are you doing some home improvements and don't know how to navigate the permitting process? Then head to the first floor lobby of City Hall. You'll find your answers at the Homeowners Help Desk. With proof of residency, Miami Beach homeowners are entitled to special assistance with their permitting needs. Come and see us Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and let us help you with the permitting process. Welcome back to CityVision. We're now joined by our city's new emergency manager, Mr. Chuck Tier. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. Let's just start right here in the EOC. How does this EOC play a role in our emergency preparedness?
An EOC is a location that brings people together to start collaborating and working on the situations. Whatever threat or situation is affecting the citizens or Miami Beach, we stand ready to come together and resolve those issues, and this is the location we do it.
Yeah, and even during that real emergency, people can camp out here, sleep here, stay in one spot, which is kind of a command post, correct?
It's actually, they call it the brains of the city when that happens. It's an area where we can bring all the decision makers together, and sometimes we'll be here for days. Sometimes, hopefully, it's a short period of time. We can resolve it and then go home. But a lot of times we have to stay here for a long period of time, eat, sleep, and deal with the situations.
Now, how does the city go about preparing for a hurricane or another major disaster?
Preparedness, just like anything, like it should be your personal plan. It should be an ongoing process. A city, we don't just wait for hurricane season to start getting ready for hurricanes. We look at all the threats that affect us here, and we take the lessons we've learned from the last events and the resources we have. We evaluate that, and we put together the right recipe for the situation to resolve it. And this is the location that's done, and it's an ongoing process that we do year-round.
Wonderful. And now, since you have been on board, are there any changes you've made to our emergency operations process here in Miami Beach?
Made a lot of changes. One of the things I've enjoyed here is it's a location that has a lot of activity. It's an area where they've had a lot of situations that have happened over the years, and what I've been doing is going back on some of the lessons learned, some of the things they've done good, and some of the things they've needed, some areas needing improvement. We've looked at those lessons and we've looked at those things and started implementing some corrective actions so that we can always do it better next time to help protect our citizens.
Because it is a process.
It's an ongoing process. They call it a living document. It's one of those things that you always try to make it better, and you learn from every event that comes.
Great. And what else would you like to add to the people watching today?
I think it's very important that just like it's a process here, I think it's a process for everybody to prepare themselves to look at what the threats are and what the things are that they are going to need for whatever comes their way, so that they're ready to deal with the situation and not be a victim of the situation, but be a survivor.
Great. And of course, all of that information on storm preparedness is available on our website, miamibeachfl.gov, so people can go there to learn more information. And thank you so much for being here and sharing these great tips for us.
Thank you for having me.
Great. And we'll be right back with much more ahead here on CityVision. Coming up on CityVision, we take a look at the free city programs that help keep our kids on the right track.
Hold it down!
And our youth are showstoppers in the annual summer show. Playground Review celebrates 7 decades in Miami Beach. And up next, a reminder of the role drivers and those on foot have when it comes to pedestrian safety. Well, your business is in transition. Don't let your storefront image suffer. Dress up your windows with this free covering provided to you by the City of Miami Beach. If your business is waiting for a new tenant, wrap your windows to increase the marketability of your space and prevent an empty eyesore. To request a wrap, contact our city's Economic Development Office at 305-673-7577. Don't bear it all. Cover your windows. Welcome back to CityVision. Miami Beach has been ranked as one of the most walkable cities around. But there's still a role for both pedestrians and drivers when it comes to safely navigating our streets. A 19-year-old man was seriously injured recently when he was hit by a dump truck while trying to cross a street in North Beach. Police say the man was on his cell phone when he stepped into the lane of traffic. Police cited him for causing the crash. It's a reminder that being alert and aware of your surroundings makes you a safer driver and a safer pedestrian. In fact, in the last 5 years in Miami Beach, there have been almost 600 pedestrian-involved crashes and 15 pedestrian deaths. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street, and here are some helpful tips. People on foot need to cross streets at legal pathways like crosswalks. At night, make it easier for drivers to see you by dressing in light colors and carrying a flashlight. Make eye contact with drivers to make sure they see you. And use extra caution when crossing streets with multiple lanes and higher speeds. As a driver, please remember you must always yield to someone using a designated crosswalk. At the crosswalk, stop back far enough so drivers in other lanes can also see the person walking. Here are some other tips for drivers. Pay attention and slow down, especially in bad weather when pedestrians can be hard to spot. Do not pass other vehicles stopped for walkers. Avoid distractions like your phone or other electronics. When making a turn, you will often wait for a gap in traffic. Beware that while you're watching for that gap, walkers may have moved into your intended path. The city works hard at promoting pedestrian safety, including flashing warning lights and safety signage at intersections, audible push buttons at crosswalks, and increased police patrols to enforce pedestrian crossing and speeding laws. All of it adds up to a feeling of safety for those out enjoying our streets.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's a nice, diverse area. There's a lot of space to walk, and I've been here for a couple hours for the first time ever, so I feel definitely feel safe.
Now, when you compare it with somewhere like Europe, particularly the UK and London, it's much more pedestrian friendly. I think it does a very good job, and it's got a nice, relaxed feel to it, and the car seems to be a minority here, which I think is a good thing.
Meanwhile, city staff is looking ahead to the next 10 years of your mobility on foot or on bike in our city. Here's the details on the new master plan for our Atlantic Greenway Network. If you've pedaled or walked to our parks, beaches, or commercial centers, then chances are you've used a part of our Atlantic Greenway Network. It's a fancy name for the city's master plan of all interconnected bike and pedestrian facilities. Since the creation of the Atlantic Greenway Network in 2007, we've made 50 miles of progress.
The city has made great strides in the last 5 years as far as constructing bicycle and pedestrian facilities. These are beach walks that you see throughout the city, adjacent to our beaches, bay walks, the cut walk down at South Point Park, as well as dedicated bicycle lanes, shared use lanes that are called sharrows, and other facilities to promote pedestrian and bicycle mode of transportation.
The Atlantic Greenway Network, or AGN, is a key element of our city's overall transportation plan because it's an environmentally friendly way to combat increasing vehicle congestion levels. City staff are now working on taking the AGN's master plan into the next decade. Along with community input, the city carried out a handlebar survey to see what improvements can be made.
As part of the data collection, the bicycle expert team rode throughout the city on bicycles to identify where the deficiencies existed and what those deficiencies were, in an effort obviously to improve upon our system and connect gaps.
The new master plan will continue to coordinate efforts of the city's environmental division, Office of Capital Improvement Projects, as well as county and state roadway projects to further enhance our network of safe and clean walking and bike paths and trails. The plan will also take into account DecoBike, the bike rental program offering 100 rental stations across our city. One of our city's major priorities is making sure our children have the best start in life. Here's the details on the 3 programs making a difference for our kids. The children of our community are our future, and the City of Miami Beach invests a great deal of resources to make sure our youth get the best possible start in life. Our Office of Community Services offers a variety of programs for kids of all ages.
and we're looking at cradle to college and making sure that these kids have opportunities not only to get services that meet their needs at that time, but also to prepare them to come back and give back when they become adults and become parents themselves. So we're very, very fortunate that we've got such a wide spectrum of programs in our city.
The 3 free programs offered under this umbrella include the Parent-Child Home Program, which helps toddlers gain valuable skills to prepare them for kindergarten; Morning All-Stars, which helps middle school kids reduce negative behaviors and promote positive ones through interactive group activities; and Success University, which teaches families the tools they need to raise children who will be healthy and successful adults through leadership training, tutoring, and community service opportunities, and more. These programs are all structured to have a lasting positive effect in our community.
The first thing is the person who's coming to us gets that immediate help. But the idea is that once you've learned how it is that you can deal with the problem within your own family, you're now what we call a natural helper. Someone else that you see in that same role, you now have the experience and the real life example of how to go back and help them. And that's what's wonderful about doing things in this way. The idea is not to just help someone, it is to help them then turn around to help others.
To inquire about free enrollment in any of the programs mentioned, contact the Office of Community Services at 305-673-7491. You're also invited to attend our 2nd annual Family Service Day. It's Saturday, September 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. at North Shore Open Space Park. To volunteer for this event and more information, please visit the city's website, miamibeachfl.gov. And finally today, it's one of the longest running shows in Miami Beach. Our Parks and Rec Department's Playground Review celebrates 70 years. Let us take you behind the scenes of the biggest show to hit the Fillmore Miami Beach at Jackie Gleason Theater every summer. And its stars are all native sons and daughters. Introducing Playground Review, our Parks and Recreation Department's wildly successful production, which has grown exponentially over 7 decades.
The first Playground Review was originally held at Flamingo Park Band Shell. When I got involved as a child back in the 70s, Playground Review was then held at the 21st Street Band Shell. We outgrew the band shell, moved over to the Miami Beach High School Auditorium, outgrew that, and ended up in this beautiful Fillmore Theater.
The theme each year determines the music and costumes. This year's theme was Dancing Through the Decades. Past years have turned the Fillmore into Broadway.
What a wonderful phrase.
And back to the 80s, just to name a few. It's a lot to organize considering 700 summer campers take part in the show.
Everything about this show is put on by the Parks and Recreation staff. From the costumes to the choreography, the scenery, the props, they're all handmade. It's truly the highlight of the summer.
City staff do a fantastic job, and the annual show packs the Fillmore Theater every summer.
Every year after the show, I always hear the same thing: this was the best show ever. What's really nice about the Playground Review is many of the parents that are sitting in the audience were themselves in Playground Review when they were campers.
Playground Review has created 70 years worth of wonderful memories and memorable performances, with many more renditions yet to come. And that wraps up this edition of CityVision. Thanks for watching. We leave you now with a look at the grand finale from this year's Playground Review. Take it away.